explain the joke as soon as I dispatch this criminal. Chris Hale. Chris Fail, more like. Right, let's do this thing. Or whatever it is. Oh, hello. This looks like fun. Okay. Deliverables. Alright, settle down, everyone. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Osric 42 has provided a joke and would like an explanation of it. So let's get down to brass tacks. The joke is as follows. I caught my son chewing on an electric cord. I had to ground him. He's doing well currently and conducting himself properly now. Wow, this is going to take some unpacking. Let's just remove that mysterious name there. And, right. I caught my son chewing on an electric cord. What's an electric cord? Well, we have various items in our households these days. I'm imagining this taking place in a home. So let's look at one such object that we might find is running off of electric. It's this rather crumpled looking the drawing doesn't really matter, but oh dear, auto shape's still on. So this runs on electricity, which is provided by this here rather jaunty wall socket. Don't know why it's got two switches there. Very confusing layout. But the electricity gets from there by passing along this, which is a cord or cable. Yes. And in this joke, Osric has caught his son chewing on one. Yes, masticating upon the electric tether. I think it has potential. Oh my god, this joke flows. We're not going to be explaining all of this. Are you positive? Brilliant. Okay, so now electricity comes in two flavours: applied current and direct current. You see, which is sort of the flow, because electricity is basically a flow, as I understand it, from my. This is very, very rough, by the way. Not a literal truth. This is more like a metaphorical explanation. But imagine this is a row of atoms, and they're all surrounded by electron clouds. But we're going to go with Bohr's erroneous model, because it makes it easier to understand. So if you imagine these have got little electron particles, an electron isn't a particle. All of these electron particles orbiting the nucleus of the atom. What's happening when electricity is passing through is that these electrons are essentially running along through. So it's essentially, it's almost like they've got too many electrons and they're just passing the parcel of the excess electrons all the way along. And that is what we call an electric current. Essentially, that's what an electric current is that flow of electricity. So he's doing well. Oh, sorry, I've skipped a sentence there. I had to ground him. So electricity runs to the earth, basically, and that's where safety lies. It's sort of absorbed by the earth or something. And this is what lamps look like in MC Escher's house, basically. Yes. So, yeah, if you've got a charge, you discharge that by grounding it, essentially. And the easiest way of doing that, and I guess it's why we talk about ground and earth, is by running it into the ground. Because I don't know if you know this, but the ground is actually part of the earth, and it's quite a large mass of atoms. So it's quite a useful thing for just, as I understand it, I didn't really pay much attention in physics. So I had to ground him. Now, if somebody behaves badly, they might get grounded. For a child, particularly. Next, you'll be telling me it's not flat, Osric. That lies without the scope of this lecture. So, yeah, if a child is errant, their parent or guardian might decide to disallow them from doing certain activities, usually outside of the home. So, for instance, they wouldn't be allowed to play out with their friends or whatever. And we'd refer to that as grounding, being grounded, essentially to be confined to the grounds of the home. To be grounded, you see. So, grounded there has two meanings. So that's the first joke, right there. Oh, hello. Don't know why that happened. Grounded. So that relates both to earthing and to confining somebody to the grounds of a property. I had to ground him. He's doing well currently, so this is, currently. Oh, I should probably write it where you can see it. Currently, you see, currently. So that's a reference both to, when we say currently, we mean sort of at the present moment in time. But here, obviously, it's playing on the notion of an electric current. He's doing well currently. And conducting himself properly. So, this is a big joke. This is a big old joke. So, let's move this up here. What are we doing? Conducting. Okay, so when electrons move along a material in this way, when there is a current through it, that material is said to be conducting. It's conducting the electricity, you see. We might think, I think possibly one of the... Generally, I think where we think of conducting electricity more than many places is notions of lightning conductors. Lightning conductors essentially bait lightning into forming into safe areas, so that rather than lightning striking trees or people, they will strike a conductor. It will conduct the lightning. And another sort of idea of conducting is to describe one's behaviour. So we might have a conductor of an orchestra, and a conductor of an orchestra conducts the behaviour, leads the behaviour of the orchestra. And yes, so here in this joke, because we may talk about how we conduct ourselves, i.e. how we lead our own behaviour, which is a slightly strange sort of construction, but certainly one that exists in the English language, to conduct oneself. It really means to sort of to be conscious of your own actions, perhaps, and therefore a little less wayward. So again, we have three puns at work in this joke. So we have grounded, had to ground him. We have currently, and the notion of electric current, and we have conducting yourself, and obviously conducting electricity. And it's just that it's almost like an element of this joke is the relentlessness of it, of this sort of pun and then a pun and then a pun, you know. Yes, normally in a criminal law sense, yes, quite often. Osric, have I explained that joke to your satisfaction, sir? Because we've got some perps to blow up. Speaking of criminality, perfectly well, thank you. Well, if I like doing anything, I like doing it well. So, joke explained. Thank you. Uh-oh. Oh, there you are.